Leticia Stauch was taken into custody in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina without incident by law enforcement officers from the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, the Denver and Columbia divisions of the FBI, the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina Police Department, the Horry County, South Carolina Police Department, and Sheriff's Office. Leticia will be held without bond in the J. Reuben Long Detention Center in Horry County, South Carolina, where she will remain until she's extradited back to Colorado Springs on the following charges. Charge 1, murder in the first degree of a child under 12 years of age by a person in a position of trust. Child abuse resulting in death. Tampering with a deceased human body and tampering with physical evidence. I cannot stress enough what a difficult time this has been for Gannon's family. Like Jackie said, they provided a written statement, but they will not, and they won't be providing any interviews at this time, and I ask that you protect their privacy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mommy's Crime Time. It's Jenny, and this is definitely a video that I wanted to make, but I didn't want to ever have to make. And I say that because it's a reference to Gannon. You've just seen a clip of the press conference today where he named the charges and did notify the public that he had been arrested by the FBI. You know, everyone was there in Horry County, South Carolina, by Myrtle Beach, where she was arrested for suspicion of first-degree murder. Also, child abuse resulting in death. We have all suspected that she did something to Gannon that day or that night before he went missing, and that is what, caused his death. Obviously, that seems to be true. She's also charged with tampering with a human corpse, and this charge is sad because it can go many ways. Because you can have tampering with a human corpse as in you moved a body. For example, Chris Watts, he killed Shanann Watts at their home, and then he put her in the truck, allegedly, drove her out and buried her at the oil site, and then put his girls' bodies in oil batteries. And he was charged with 3 counts of tampering with a human corpse. So, that's a possibility that you move the body, and moving the body would result in tampering with a human corpse. But there's a more sinister side of that, where it can also mean that you did something to the body. And I don't want to think that. I don't want to say that, but I do want to be realistic, and I do want to bring up a lot of different possibilities and aspects. So what she did with Gannon's body remains unknown to the public, at least, because her arrest documents are a sealed affidavit. So we don't know what they say. We don't know what evidence was found and ultimately led to her arrest. We do have some ideas of what it may have been, and I'll talk about those in a minute, but they're not telling us what that is, and that's perfectly fine, because honestly, we don't need to know right now. We need to let them do their job, because obviously they have been waiting for this. They knew it was her, just like we all knew it was her. If you follow me, if you listen to my podcast, if you follow me on YouTube, you know I have said she did it. Without a doubt, whatever happened that night led to his death. That's why she left with him. That's why he did not return. She was trying to cover her tracks. This accidental video was bullshit. It was another thing that she did, another tactic to try to make it look like something it wasn't. I've said this since the beginning, and so many of you have too. Most of us knew that she did this. We knew it in our hearts, our intuition. We knew. But we had to let law enforcement do their job. And while it's been very, very difficult for us to sit by and wait, she has been finally arrested. Thank God. But all I can say is this is freaking heartbreaking, because I've sat here since January 27th and I've watched this case unfold. I have followed it. I've had my alerts on my phone from El Paso County, and I don't live there. I'm all the way on the other side of the United States. I have read article after article. I'm in several groups online that discuss this case. I have let it consume me because I really hope and prayed that he would be found alive. Now, in my heart, I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew that there had been something bad happen to Gannon. Most of us did, but we refused to let go of that hope. Now, T was also charged with tampering with evidence. Obviously, this should have been something from the very beginning. We knew she tampered with evidence. We knew she hid things. We knew that she lied to the police. We knew all this, and a lot of us were pissed off because you looked at this little Evelyn Boswell case and how her mother was arrested for lying to police, and we were like, well, why isn't T being arrested? And I think that's because they were waiting for something. There was something there that they were waiting to break because they knew that she is the one that did it. So how did we get here? We don't know what was found. But what we do know is something has come to light. And a lot of us are wondering, did Harley crack? Because we all feel like Harley knew something. And she wasn't saying it because this is her mom. Maybe her mom threatened her. But it was obvious in that interview with the news when Harley did not even know what to say and she had to ask her mother what to say, that she wasn't thinking entirely on her own. So did Harley break? Maybe. Did the little sister possibly see something and she's relayed that to law enforcement and something has checked out? Because she's not a toddler. She was old enough to know what she saw. And the saddest part is she may have witnessed what happened to her brother that led to his death. And that's terrible. So we know that T's being held without bond. No possibility of getting out. She's coming back to Colorado. Now, Gannon's not been found. We still don't know where his body is. There has been some reports that although his body hasn't been recovered yet, they know where the murder occurred. They know where the murder scene is, and they are investigating that location. Is this true? I don't know, but it's something that has been said. It would go along with a lot of the charges because if you kill someone and, they don't have a body, but say they find a large amount of blood, and they say, look, a human body could not sustain this blood loss and still be alive. This person would be deceased. Is that the case? Did they come across enough blood evidence or something to say that there's no way that Gannon is alive? Possibly. But we're going to have to wait to find those facts out because they're not going to release those. And as frustrating as that is for us, we've been frustrated for a long time, but we've made progress. Look where we are now. So keep being patient. Don't feel the rumor mill. Don't, go after the family. Just let everyone mourn and let the detectives do their job that they have been doing. Although we've been frustrated, they have been doing their job. And they've got this evil, freaking, wicked witch of the West caught and in jail. Now, her mugshot should be released shortly. I haven't seen it yet. I've been checking for it. Believe me, I'm waiting to see this. But it has not been released yet. Like I said, I'm just curious. Did Harley talk? Did someone say something? I know T didn't talk. She wouldn't say a word. But something did come to light. And if you look on Crime Online, they actually have an article that was updated today. And it talks about some things that I feel may be, real, may be relevant, and may have contributed to this arrest. Now, she says that, this is T, she talked to Crime Online as part of her, investigation into the case and her part of it. Now, she does say that, she didn't understand how authorities were referring to her home as a crime scene when they saw him leaving on the 27th. Yes, they did see him leave, but they did not see him return. And we all know something went down in that house the night before that leads us to really believe that this is where something happened. An exact quote from her is, "How the hell is a house a crime scene if he left and didn't come back with me, supposedly? They are saying there's a crime scene with all this blood in the house, which they let people live in during the supposed crime scene for 7+ days, but then a video shows him leaving with me walking." Okay? He wasn't walking well. It appeared he was under some kind of stress. So she just admitted, if this is true, okay, I can't attest to the, authenticity of everything that she's saying, but if this is true, it does justify there was blood found in that house, and probably a lot. We know that they had the CSI there the other day, and they were back so close to that garage that you could not even see what they were bringing in and out. The doors opened, and they were in and out of that garage. You couldn't see. What were they taking out? Very questionable. They may have found something then. They may have been waiting on DNA confirmation. This was last week. Now, she says her husband told her about blood found in the home. And she denied hurting Gannon and claimed that he would get repetitive nosebleeds that required cleanup. Bullshit on that, because, like, my husband gets nosebleeds sometimes, but I don't have large puddles of blood all over my house. It might happen at night. There might be something on the pillow. Or, your kid might get hit in the nose and their nosebleeds, but there's never a large puddle of blood from a nosebleed. Not enough to justify death. She also states he was taken around and shown different places of blood inside the house. There was some in the garage. But there were accidents all the time, nosebleeds. Gannon walked around sometimes with blood on his arm from nosebleeds. Blood on his arm from a nosebleed, justifying blood all over the garage? No. Now, we know she told this bullshit story about how he cut his foot on that Saturday night before he went missing. And I've said, if you watch my previous videos, that she said this because she was trying to justify why blood was probably found in the garage. Because if he did cut his foot bad on Saturday night, why in the hell was he hiking 2 times on Sunday? He wouldn't have been. I don't think he really cut his foot. I think that the blood in the garage was part of whatever she did to him, and this was her way of trying to justify the finding of blood. If I have said this since she released that statement. Now, she added that her husband told her that Gannon's sock and a bloody 2x4 were found in the woods near Douglas County. We know they had extensive search in Douglas County. They were sifting through snow, and at one point they even asked the news reporters to back up. Maybe this is when they found this. Maybe again they had to wait for DNA evidence. But she explains that her family frequently loaded up boards that they didn't need from their garage, or like leftovers from woodworking, and that there have been several accidents in the garage which could easily account for a bloody board. And she was asked, well, how did this bloody board end up on the side of the road? And she, of course, says that, they could have just flew out the back of her truck while she was driving. Same thing could have happened again in sock, because we totally all take our kids' bloody socks and shit and just put them in the back of our truck and go for a drive, right? She said at this point to Crime Online that law enforcement had not told her about the sock or the wood and had not contacted her. Of course they didn't, because they were waiting for confirmation that it was related to Gannon. She also said that he had reached out to her and said there was a saucer-sized blood stain in his bedroom. Now, what this was, don't know. I mean, of course, she's trying to say it was probably because of the nosebleed. Saucer-sized puddle of blood found inside Gannon's room. I mean, this could be a pretty big puddle. And we know about the whole carpet thing and her wanting to rip the carpet out and the supposed burn. I think she ripped the carpet out in that spot because she cut it out because it smelled so strong that they couldn't sleep from a little candle burn. This was nothing short of her hiding evidence. We've all known it. But regardless of the evidence, the he said, she said, what we all think, the point of this is there's a dead 11-year-old little boy who had his entire life ahead of him, and now he doesn't get to live because of this monster. And it has broken my heart, because if you don't want your child, there are options. There are places you can take them. There are other people that would love to raise your child. Landon would have taken her son back. Al would have took care of his son. He didn't have to die. And I'm sickened because we're seeing this over and over and over. There's every other day, there's another child that has been murdered by his mother or father. And it makes me sick. And I don't understand it. If you don't want your child and you're watching this right now, surrender them. You don't have to kill them. You can have whatever life you want. That's perfectly fine, but you don't have to kill your child. And I think what broke my heart more than anything else in this, because we all knew that this was coming, was Landon. And she was so heartbroken. And when you watch it, you see her reaction, and you see her crying in Al's chest, and you can hear the pain. And I mourn for her. And I'm praying for her, and I'm praying for the entire family, because this is a tragedy. It is beyond belief. It's unfathomable. It's sick. And we still don't have his body. And I hope and pray that, Leticia, I hope you never, ever feel happiness again. I pray that every single day of your life is hell. I hope that you get your ass beat every day while you were in prison. I hope you never feel love again. I hope that you never feel love's embrace. You never have another hug. I hope that no one in your family speaks to you again. I hope your children decide to never even look at you or talk to you again. I pray you never see the daylight. I pray that every day of your life is a miserable day and that you are haunted by what you did to Gannon every day, every moment of your sick, pathetic life. Was that mean? Yeah. But what she did, she deserves to die. And we know Colorado isn't exactly a death penalty state. We know that because when Chris Watts, when he took that plea for life, but had he not taken that plea, the death penalty was on the table. But we know the governor isn't a big supporter of the death penalty. So would he have ever even been put to death? But whatever the case, even if she doesn't pay the ultimate price here on earth, she will pay for it. I fully believe. When she leaves this earth, she will pay for what she did to Gannon. And I just want to say, he is everyone's hero, just like Landon said. And Landon is an inspiration because that woman gets up there and she talks about justice for her son and she holds herself together. And I envy her and I am so proud of her for being such a strong woman because I don't think I could do it. So, right now we don't know anything else. We're waiting for more information to come out. We're waiting to see what, they will release to us. We're waiting to see that glamorous mugshot of this bitch. And as soon as it's released, I will definitely update you guys. I'll let you know what I find out. In the meantime, pray for Gannon's family and pray for poor sweet Gannon and what he went through before he died. And I hope he didn't suffer. But I do hope that Leticia suffers every day for the rest of her life. I'm going to close this out by letting you guys watch Landon and Al's statements at the press conference today. As I said, please just pray for them. Please like this video, subscribe, follow Mommy's Crime Time, follow my podcast, and I'll keep you guys updated the best that I can. As always, thank you.
Be even standing up here, but if I had to say one thing, that when he said Gannon is no longer with us, I'd have to say Gannon is with us. After the stories of people from all over the world, he's not only my hero now, he's the world's hero. So I thank the community, the positive support from a state that I've never visited other than 2 or 3 times. I'm astounded by the amount of love that's not come from me. It's came from my boy. And never thought I'd be standing here. It's a nightmare. I've had to put trust in the people I don't know. Today, I got the worst news and the best news. Obviously, we know what the worst news is, but the best news is that justice will be served. And I'll make sure that justice is served because my boy did not deserve any of this that has happened to him. So I urge media one more time just to hold off on questions until we know that this person, the stepmom that I even trusted, that she will pay 100% for this heinous thing she does. And I know that that's going to will be done. So I ask you guys, I beg and plead of you, if you've known, if you've seen the story, all of you have seen this story, please hold that very close to you. Because I want to live this earth knowing that justice was served for my boy. And I know that you've seen pictures, you've seen stories, you've seen my little man. He is truly my hero. And I'm gladly giving that to you guys too, that he can be your hero. I've heard stories of people that have not prayed in years, that have finally fell on their knees to pray. And I know where my son's at, without a shadow of a doubt. So many families have been brought closer together because of this. I know my boy is special, and I've told my people and my family and friends that Gannon has a testimony, that Gannon has a story. He's special. And this is his story. So make that story magnificent, who my child is. And I'm putting my trust into you guys to do that. So thank you for allowing Gannon to be your hero and sharing him with us.
So now I'm going to read a statement from Al, Gannon's dad. In a moment on September 29, 2008, my heart stopped as my baby boy entered this world way too early, weighing only 1 pound, 6 ounces. His infectious smile and constant laughter made an impact on every single person he's ever met. Although I miss the years when he was learning to walk, learning to talk, and he had welcomed his little sissy home from the hospital, I've been looking forward to his teenage years and the fun we had ahead of us as he became a young man. In a moment, on March 2nd, 2020, my heart stopped again with what we have heard up to this point. My little boy is not coming home. We will never play Nintendo again. No more Taco Tuesdays. No more smooth haircuts. No more Big Bubba for my Nana, and no more G-Man for the world. The person who committed this heinous, horrible crime is one that I gave more to anyone else on this planet, and that is a burden that I will carry with me for a very long time. But the God I believe in is the owner and decider of justice and vengeance. Only He can repay. Although I am selfish and want my baby boy here, now and forever, how can I question God for bringing Gannon home to Him? Because Gannon believed in God, and I will never stop believing. Thank you to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and the FBI for the thousands of hours it took to uncover the truth as we know it, and may they stay strong and focused as they move forward.